You're listening to the Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent talk.
Well, happy Monday evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Intrepid radio program. I'm your host, Scotty Roberts. This is my show, the Intrepid radio program, broadcasting on the Odyssey Radio Network. That's ODYSY1.com. Come on over, see all the goodness that's Odyssey Radio. And at the same time, you can find out all the different times of the day that this show plays over there. And, of course, those of you who are already here over in the live chat room, over on the live broadcast on YouTube, my YouTube channel, if you're picking this up somewhere else, is youtube.com/Mr. Scotty Roberts. Welcome to the show tonight, folks. Glad that you're here. Glad that you're taking your time to spend it with me for the next hour-ish, if we don't cut off right at an hour. And by the way, if you're not a member of the channel, you can hit the little join button down below, right down there somewhere. And you will see 3 ways that you can become a member of this channel. I appreciate everybody who is a member already, and those of you who help keep this show above the waterline. So thanks for being here. And by the way, if you like this show, go ahead and invite some people over to come over and take a look at it. Check it out. See if they will like it too. Now, this show has undergone little tiny, minuscule bits of criticism as far as how often my family becomes involved in the shows. And I hope that those of you who are here and you're here every day, I would tend to think that you don't seem to have a huge problem with that. That becomes part of the color of this show, if you will, is the fact that my wife comes in every now and then, my children wander in. Sometimes the children are a little frustrating because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're welcome to come in and say hi and be calm and add to the color of the show, but not to be disruptive. And when we, of course, get back full sync into Odyssey Radio, because we've been off Odyssey for about 6 months as a live show. They're just replaying broadcasts. Once we start broadcasting live over there again, I'm going to have to crack down on my kids a little bit harder. And so they're not in here all the time. The family makes it better, says Field Guy. Thank you. I appreciate that, brother. And welcome to all of you guys. I see Master Finn is in the room. Good to see you, brother. Didn't see you over the weekend, so it's nice to see you tonight. Doug Stack is here. Yo, 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 he says. And so I welcome you, Doug Stack, to the show again tonight. Teresa D'Antone, good to see you tonight. And Morgan Snow, great having you. And by the way, Teresa, thank you for sharing out, and those of you who also shared out the show today. My Facebook, my personal Facebook, is down at the moment. Well, it's up, but I can't do anything on it. And the reason for that is apparently I have violated community standards over there with a meme I put up weeks, if not months ago. I think I put it up when I was down in Louisiana. And as of this morning is when I found that out. And I had posted a little memory, a 10-year-old memory of a eulogy I wrote just for Facebook for my sister's dad. He was my stepdad when I was Ellery's age. And I had put that up, and then after that I found I couldn't edit it. I thought, what's going on here? And then I got the notification that they have suspended me for only 3 days. It's no big shakes not being able to post on Facebook. But I went ahead and I made a quick other channel. And, of course, because my IP number is attached to it, I can't post from that one either. I did that so I could post the shows. And so I am off of Facebook for another, it was 72 hours around noon today. So it'll be noonish Thursday before I can do any posting. Now, I just want to let you know that the community standard that I violated, how would they see that and hold me inviolate of their community standards months after the original post was up? Did somebody just happen to stumble across it? Or, as I suspect, remember when Facebook started not long ago saying, if you know of somebody who's subversive or somebody who's an extremist, report them. Report them. I wish I had an echo to play for that. And so I think somebody complained about my posts, and that was probably the only one they could latch onto to find that I was in any way inviolate of their community standards. Now, you know what the post was? I'll talk around it in case YouTube goes, oh, I can't believe he talked about that. It was a meme. And that meme was one of the ones, you remember seeing Leonardo DiCaprio. Did you ever see the movie Django Unchained? Where he did that with Jamie Foxx. I think it was Jamie Foxx. And the Western. And Leonardo DiCaprio played a slave owner and a rich plantation dude. And he was one of those very funny, he was Southern, he was very funny. He was witty. And but at the same time, he was a murderer and just a nasty fellow. But there's that picture that they use in all different kinds of memes where he's laughing and he's holding up like a goblet of wine or something. He's laughing like, you, me. And the caption that was on this particular one said, I'm just going to step right out ahead of the game and say this. I don't think Fauci killed himself. A joke, a comedic twist on the Epstein memes that were all over the place. And I've seen that meme with Leonardo DiCaprio many, 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 many times out there. And I put it up because there was great comedy. If you're doing stand-up and you do comedy like that, well, so Facebook found me in violation of their community standards because I was, quote, promoting people doing harm to themselves. Then they lectured me a bit in text, of course, on suicide. And was I feeling suicidal? And did I need to call anybody and talk about my suicidal tendencies and my ability to make fun of suicide? So that's what that was all about. So I got pulled off of Facebook for 72 hours, 3 days. Again, no big shakes, no big loss. I got work I'm doing. I'm busy over here. But the only time is when I step and take a break. I have a cup of coffee and I look at my my phone and I go, I can't do anything over there. So I did put up another one called Scotty Jailbait, Jaylebate. So if any of you get a request, friends request from me from that site, that's actually me. And it's the one where I'm wearing one of my fedoras and I got the flintlock musket that I'm holding. And it's got the Intrepid radio logo on the header. So that's actually is me. I had a couple of people write me and said, is this you? But of course, you know what I can't do? I can't post over there either because they've linked the IP addresses. So anyway, there it is. So, hey, Audrey, good to see you here tonight. Got to get back to work. Had a minute to stop. Love you all and miss you guys. Miss you too. Good to see you. I don't know if you caught my hello there because I saw you. There's a bit of a lag between live and when it actually hits the chat room, about 20 seconds or so, something like that. So, and who else did I see? Sean Bowden. Good to see you in here, brother. Glad that you are here. Field Guy says, anytime I report offensive stuff, they don't do anything about it. I don't post anything about anybody's posts. The only time I think I've ever once complained to Facebook was when somebody was abusive toward people in my own threads. And I got a thing back and they said, no, we've reviewed it. It's okay. But this guy was being nasty. He was wishing death on everybody and stuff like that. I think that when somebody is deliberately out there wishing death on other people, that's a hell of a lot more incendiary than doing a comedic thing on Fauci and linking it with Epstein. So there you go. I thought it was good humor. Apparently, the children over at Facebook did not think so. And so there you go. Field guy says, piss in Fauci's coffee and then laugh. Well, there you go. There's that too. Sean Bowden said, I had the pleasure of meeting Tony Fauci. I'd definitely smile in my mugshot. So there you go. All right. Let's see. I'm just going to see if there's anybody who snuck in that I want to say hey to before we get moving here tonight. And by the way, as you've known for the last 3 weeks, Rainey's been out of town. She's been in Alaska visiting her sister. And she didn't get to see her brother-in-law because he's deployed. And that's all I can say about that. I don't even know any more about that. But she's got 3 kids that are roughly the same age as our 3 kids, roughly. And so they all got to play. Rainey got to play auntie instead of mom for 3 weeks. And then they did a lot of fishing up there. She came home last night, went and picked her up at the airport around 7:30, 7:45 last night. The kids were with me. Flynn wanted to be there, but he was gone at camp all week last week with scout camp. And then he had a buddy his grandma wanted to take them both to the Wisconsin Dells. If any of you know what the Wisconsin Dells are, it's just a big family camping area, the whole city. The whole spread area, and it's full of amusement parks and all attractions and all this. And so that's what Flynn's doing. So he didn't get to come along and pick up mom. And Rainey when we pulled up at the airport, we saw her walking up with all her luggage. And the little girls got out and ran up to meet her. And Rainey was crying because she missed the girls. And, me, she can talk to me all the time. I'm a guy. I'm a husband. We don't rate the same as the little kids who are missing you. And so, and she's a mom. So that counts. And so we got home last night and she brought home 86 pounds. And they had them in freezer boxes that she had to check. 86 pounds of salmon that she caught in the river, and she caught them herself. And they threw in a few pounds too we have some reindeer meat, we have moose meat, and I think and some caribou as well. But predominantly, I'd say it's 90% of the meat that she brought home. That 86 pounds is salmon. So we filled up. Dave Potter says, "Woohoo!" Dave gets to come. Rainey asked me, Dave Potter, just last night, she said, so when's Dave coming over to cook for us? I said, we'll get him lured over. And folks, if you don't know it, Dave Potter is a chef. He's a gourmet chef. He's actually working on opening up his own restaurant. And so he's going to come over and do some cooking for us. And hey, Ryan Gale, how you doing? Yeah, Grizzly Roberts. Who, me or my wife? Yeah, she was out there in the river. She was telling me they were snagging them with a hook and stuff like that, but they had to pull them out with their hands and stuff. She's catching them like a bear standing in the river. And so she had a good time. And so she's sinking back all day today into being a mom, to the mundane around here, to screaming, bickering children, to the house was in great shape, but she wanted to retouch some things. Why'd you do it that way? More ways to skin a cat. So she was doing her thing. And so Rainey's home, but now her mom and her stepdad stopped over just a little while ago. She was going to come on the show and say hi. I think she's going to try to make it in at some point. They were out there making cotton candy the last just 2 minutes before I came in here. She said, I'll try to get in here in a little bit. Let me visit a little bit. And so, and she got home and said, the house is still standing. Yes. I will tell you this. I take great pride in knowing how to take care of a house, knowing how to take care of kids. Remember, I was a sole custodial dad of my 3 kids. And so I've been around this block before. But they are different personalities. My first 3 kids had totally different personalities than my second 3 kids now. And so you've seen their personalities. So it's interesting. Our teabag governor is reinstating the face diaper mandate inside on my birthday, says Doug Stack. I'm pretty sure Minnesota across the river is going to. It's a very, very leftist liberal state. I'm not sure what Wisconsin's going to do. There are most of the schools in Wisconsin-wide are fighting the mask mandates, have been for the last 6 months in the schools. So our own school district that our kids go to in Somerset, there are 6 or 7 people on the school board there. And 80, I think it's like 80%, it's a round figure, of the parents do not want masks mandated. They want them to be optional. And the school board keeps voting against the will of 80. I think it was the last number I saw. I thought it was 83% of the parents do not want the masks. So it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Of course, the conspiratorial cynic in me says, let's see, taxes are going up. Gas is way high. The economy's in shambles. All of this stuff you can look at. So, hey, it's time for a new variant. Hey, look who popped in out of absolutely nowhere, sitting in the wings, Sarah Soderlund. I'm going to bring her in. Hey, Sarah.
Hello.
How are you?
Well, you know, I was trying to click and watch the show, and Teresa shared join the live chat room.
Yes.
And the following link, and I clicked it.
Oh,
and
oops. You know what?
I clicked it, you were like, and there she is.
Oh, that's a mistake of mine. That's a typo. It's supposed to say join the live chat room, and you can call in live to the show at this link. So I messed something
it works.
up there.
Your link works.
Well, how about that? And you're the only one who called in. So how about that?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I love the show. I'm always secretly trolling and watching it if I don't have
All right.
a session myself or something that I'm working on. And I mean, tonight's topic, I mean, how could someone not be, I mean, Christo, I thought of Monte
Pagan,
Cristo.
Yeah.
Paganism. I thought of maybe a crispy ham sandwich dipped in strawberry jam.
That's what a Christo-Pagan is. No, that would be a Christo-Bismarck.
That'd be a Christo-Bismarck. Or
not the best joke in the world, but it was there.
Sandwich. A Christo-vegan sandwich maybe we could do.
Yeah.
But,
Are you vegan?
No.
Oh, thank God.
I could never do that. I'm from Kansas City. I'm all for as much burn-ins as a person can stomach.
She's a cheat. She loves meat. She's a cheat. Yes, she is. She loves red bloody,
meat.
Juicy chunks of meat, legs of lamb.
And
okay, go ahead.
Rare. I mean, medium rare, right? It's the other day I had a southern moment where I drove past. It was a very tall man and a very big woman, and they were holding hands. And I looked at my kids. I went, "Oh, there goes Jack Spratt." And they looked.
I was going to say he could eat no fat and she could eat no lean.
Yes. And I made my kids sit in the parking lot through the old nursery rhyme, which is actually a very long thing.
Yes.
But yeah, and then they were like, "What does that mean to just eat lean?" And I was like, "That's somebody who just eats rabbit food. I don't know how people do that."
Yeah, so. Rabbit food, leans, greens, nuts, and seeds.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I didn't mean to press the.
Well, what a happy surprise!
Yeah. Well, I've got my coffee, and I thought I'm catching the show. It's only 9:19, and I think I caught it, and
we'll eventually get to the topic. So.
Well, it's one of those that. It's an important topic. It's one that I think a lot of people right now, at least on TikTok, there's a huge spiritual ascension, the shift, the Aquarius Pisces shift, going from prophecies of water that were sacrificing blood and starvation and semen and celibacy to now Aquarius, aliens of air, Nephilim, fallen titans, the entanglement, 5D shift of social media. I mean, all of it is... I am interested to see what you have to say about it.
Well, we've been talking Christo-Paganism for about 2 weeks off and on, and we've been going through the tenets of faith of Christianity, and then looking at what Christianity says versus what paganism will say about similar topics. And the big question underlying it all, this is for everybody in the audience, is can you take something like Christianity and paganism, which have been at each other's throats almost since the beginning, can they be merged? Is there area of common ground? And so I'm looking into that, and I think it requires a little reinterpretation of old scripture, different understandings, fresher understandings of old text. And so that's what we've been going through. And we've gone through like God, the Holy Spirit, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. We've gone through the church. We're getting into tonight's sacraments a bit, sacraments and rituals, and how that is Christian magic, and how that is not so incompatible with paganism and so on. So that's what we've been doing for.
Well, and this is, man, and this is why I love your show is for those people interested, and if they're listening to your show and they think, holy cow, I want to learn this. I mean,
yeah, there it is.
That's I mean, that's what we do. That's what I live for, darling.
What I live for.
You know, the forensic psychology degree and the spiritualism and the working with witches and pagan, Wiccan. I mean, some people are still practicing Solomon magic. Some people are doing Opus Dei magic. Some people are devout Amish. I mean, some people are very ritualistic Lutherans, Catholics doing their just the other day, you know, doing their 10. Because I was raised Southern Baptist / Gypsy, divorced household, and Brandon, the 10 what? Not the 10 Commandments, the things on the wall that were in the Zodiac Killer movie that I said I didn't even realize what those were, and I don't know what they are.
The
Stations of the Cross.
The Stations of the Cross, yeah.
The 10 Stations of the Cross.
That's a very Catholic thing. The Stations of the Cross, you know, and I couldn't even name them all for you, although I know what they are.
Here I am teaching this.
There you go.
Stuff.
You got them. Show us.
No, this is the Sephiroth. This is the tree of life. This is what yogis
I
might
recognize
be doing,
that
right?
now that you pulled that back a little.
But see, I really like it because in neurolinguistic programming, number 8, the HOD, the splendor, the reflective difference between the internal and external IQ and EQ is a word initiated by the word splendor. So if you've been watching Westworld, the glitches in the Matrix, the doppelgangers, the evil walkers, the people out there that might be you but aren't you, that are the clone, use the word splendor.
Interesting.
But the 10 modes of the tree, and I'm thinking, I don't know these Catholic 10 stopping points. Like, what are they? What are they? And I feel really short-sticked. And so here my husband, he's a recovering Catholic. He's got more wisdom and knowledge than I do, but they're probably the same 10 things I've been teaching that are mudras of some other religion. They're all the same. So you're going to be going into that. I've got my coffee. Sorry, I won't click crazy links anymore.
That's all right. That's all right. That's my own damn fault because I didn't specify that was the chat room tonight.
I love it. It's how you get great walk-ins. So next time I'll be sure to have my makeup on and hair ready. And
I should have. Rainey just got back from Alaska last night, but she was gone for 3 weeks, and I could have used you as a surrogate wife on the show. And on Sundays and on some other nights, I should have called you, but I didn't. I was so busy over here. I didn't even think about it.
You should have called me, man.
I should have called.
Well, she didn't die in a crazy Atlantic tsunami. She was up there catching fish and living through tsunamis.
I think I heard the river went up a foot.
Oh,
something like that. The waters, they were something like 125 feet above sea level. And oh no, the tsunami was only a foot. Is all it ended up being. So they did all right.
That's serious. She can say she lived through a tsunami. Not many people can say such things. It's very cool. All right.
Sean Bowden says, I've never been a religious dude. I'm lost. I'll tell you a little bit about it, Sean.
Don't be lost, for now you are found. You are on Scotty's show.
Found.
You're found. Amen. Mm-hmm. Here we go. All right. I'll see you later.
Tell me, are you a Christian boy? I said, ma'am, I am tonight.
Yeah, or I am a man, or a woman in my case, of constant sorrow. Those are my favorite gospel
Constant
songs.
sorrow, oh dead. Won't you tap me over for another year?
Yes. Man, I need to go
There it
watch
is.
George Clooney right now. Okay, I'm going to watch
All
George
right.
Clooney after I watch your show. Okay,
All right,
I'm
get out of
tuning in.
here.
Thanks, Scotty.
Thanks for
Bye.
calling by accident.
Absolutely, my favorite show.
See you, darling. All right, guys. That was Sarah Soderlin. We'll get her on again. I was just thinking about her. I did think about her last week. I don't know why I didn't think about calling her to be on the show with me on Sunday. So we will do that more often. Rainey's got a for Sunday show. Guess what? She's got a massage already scheduled at 9:30. So she won't be able to make the show on Sunday. So maybe we can get Sarah. Sarah, if you're still listening, clear up your calendar for Sunday morning. Let's get you on here. Let's talk about some of your stuff. And so people have wandered in. Dave Potter's here. I know Sean Stroik is here. Sean Bowden is here. Stroik. Sean Stroik. You said Stroik or Stroich? I think it's Stroik with a hard CH. And I saw a couple of other people in here that have wandered into the show. Elderberry is here. Good to see you. And we got Doug Stack. David Castle is here. And Doug, not that I wanted to, because I already said hi to you. So a few more people have wandered in. Good to have you here. Michelle Canham-Free. Lucky Stone. Good to see you. In the chat room, Steve Clark is here. Oh, I didn't see your question. Sarah, is the Stockyard restaurant still open? Maybe she'll see that and she'll let you know, or hear that I said that. So we'll see what's going on. All right. And now that we're halfway through technically, legally halfway through the show, I think we might be able to get to the topic tonight. And I think it's a good topic. It's on this whole idea of the tenets of faith within Christianity and pagan Christian. Hello, Christo-Paganism. Wow, I sputtered that one out, didn't I? And so last night we kind of left off. We were talking about divination and how that applies to Christo-Paganism. Divination, the raising up of spirits, the calling up of ghosts. I've been told by people in my old theological circles that the paranormal investigating I do is divination. We had, when Rainey and I were first married, we were buying that ranch on a very loosey-goosey contract for deed. And the old rancher, kind of a very devout Christian, but very weird devout Christian, he came to us and he was like, you're flipping them cards and talking to ghosts, and my livestock is not doing well. So, and he wanted to kick us out for that. And so that's what he told us anyway. So it was very interesting the way people respond to divination. But divination can never be a replacement for good therapy. But for many otherwise mentally healthy people, divination can be a way of meditating, using symbols to allow your subconscious mind to communicate. And so it's not just calling up the dead. It's the thing of looking to the spirit world to give you information about how you should act, what you should do. The tarot readings I do, looking for the energy at play around you. So using things like tarot cards, pendulums. Have you ever seen a pendulum? It does kind of the same thing as a Ouija board. You write the alphabet and numbers in a circle, and then you lay it flat and you hold on a chain, a little weight, and that weight will have a sharp point on it, like a crystal or something, and it will swing and it will spell out letters. So using these things or other divination methods to explore your own psyche is a way to explore what your mind is trying to tell you. This is very Jungian. Carl Jung believed that your mind has messages for you, and that the tarot, and he used the tarot. Remember I said he was a contemporary of Sigmund Freud, and one of the fathers of modern psychology. And he believed that the tarot was very useful, that it was, and he had other spiritual beliefs as well, but he believed that that was your subconscious, your mind trying to tell you things. Dream work, journals, so on. These all have a place in exploring what's going on in your head. And consistency, however, is what's important when it comes to that. Is mental symbols aren't standardized, but unique to the person. And you have to figure out what your brain code is. Your brain's code. So you know how to see what your brain's telling you. You think, it's my brain. Shouldn't I be fully cognitive aware of this? No. Your dream life tells you an awful lot about what's going on in your brain. But consistency is important. And if this method of working is helpful for you, consulting a professional psychological person who specializes in this can be of great value. Astrology, zodiac signs, things like, hey, baby, what is your sign? Astrology deserves a note, mainly to say that it's never been proven accurate for people's lives. Proven, I'm saying, because it's highly subjective. And some people want to believe that there's a reason and a purpose for everything that happens in their life, when I have a philosophy that sometimes there just might not be reasons for the way things happen to us. I remember when I was talking to my old pastor, Parson Larson, way back 25 years ago when I was in the Evangelical Free Church. And I was asking him about things that were going on, bad things, the divorce I was going through, all the charges that my ex-wife was trying to level against me to try to win the children, which she lost, by the way. But all of that, I remember asking my pastor, what's God trying to tell me in all of this bad stuff heaping up? He said, Scotty, maybe God's not trying to tell you anything. Maybe this is just life. And you got to live your life. And I thought that was very evolutionary for a pastor in a Christian church. So people want to believe that there's a reason, there's a purpose for everything that happens, whether because of predestination, which is one of those theological, 10-cent words, or because of the alignment of the planets. There's a personal belief. But the idea that something is controlling your life and compelling behavior remains consistent in that kind of a worldview. And this framework seems incompatible with this whole process theology that we talked about. The idea that God allows free will and is always luring, not commanding, toward the good. And so this isn't to say that the symbolism of astrology is bad, not at all. Nor is it to say that a person cannot be a good Christo-Pagan if they believe in astrology. What I think this is saying is that astrology is neither central to the faith of Christianity or paganism, nor scientifically valid. Although you would talk to some people and get a very different point of view on that. Sarah might have a different point of view on that. And I have kind of a point of view that says I think there's more to it than that, but I want to be more pragmatic. I want to be grounded in what I believe. And when there's something I can't prove, it's tough for me. I struggle with it. So it's not central to the faith. It's not theologically consistent with universalism, with process theology ideas that comprise everything we're talking about on Christo-Paganism. If someone was to take astrological readings and evaluate them for the symbols that resonate within their lives, much is described already, like we talked about with tarot, with dream work, journaling, then maybe that could have good use for someone's growth in love. And I don't bring up love to be all new agey. Bring it up as that remember what Jesus was asked. I'll repeat this again from other nights on this topic. Jesus was asked by the Pharisees, what is the greatest commandment? Expecting him to either go into the law or trip him up. And Jesus said, the greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And after that, to love your neighbor as yourself. Period. That's all he said. He didn't get into any other points of law, of theological law. Now, for myself, I haven't experienced it as useful or beneficial yet, the astrology stuff. Although There's some people I've seen that Jeff Harmon is one of them. That Rocky has on his show from time to time is pretty amazing. So examine all this in the light of your life, your beliefs, and then do as you will, so long as it leads to an increase in the love of God and the love of your neighbor and the love of yourself. That's really the key. That's the focal points. So, yeah, Wesley, no ghouls in tuxedos with cone heads, cutting off foot wearing a white sock and black shoe. That doesn't bleed. And that isn't fun entertaining enough for you. There you go. Sarah Soderlund says, let's call up what she just said here. Where is it? Right there. Sun in Leo opposite Saturn in Aquarius, responsibilities may take a toll on you if you're not also looking out for your own well-being. Practice some self-care. I utilize daily astrology as predictive. Well, there you go. And see, when Sarah says it, I want to believe it. I want to believe my doubts go away because I trust her. I trust the way she sees things. So, hey, Roger Rabbit, good to see you. Glad you made it in tonight. Glad you're here. But now, the topic for tonight, we're moving on. I have needed to wrap up the whole divination and astrology section of Christo-Paganism. And again, all of this stuff is Christo-Paganism light. I'm not digging overtly deep on these. I'm trying to hit the things that we think about, the things that where the rubber meets the road in our lives. And so we're moving on to sacraments and rituals, rites and magics. Now, sacraments, usually understood, are a tangible sign of God's grace. They have historically been the mark of inclusion into the Christian faith. Sacrament. You can think of some of them if you were churchified when you were growing up, or even now. Like communion or mass. What do they call that? There's another word for it. It'll come to me. It's just not off the top of my head at the moment. But baptism, things like this. These are sacraments. And they've historically been a mark of inclusion into the Christian faith. And in ancient Christianity, initiates called catechumens had to study for a period of time before being baptized or before celebrating Eucharist. That's the word I'm looking for. Communion, the Eucharist. You had to study at the beginning of Christianity. You had to know what your faith was about before you could take part in these things. Even baptism. Baptism was not a thing in the early church that was meant for infants, believe it or not. That is an addition of the literalist Orthodox Catholic Church. It came about a couple hundred years later to dedicate babies, to save their souls. That was never the point of baptism at the beginning. Baptism was a thing that you did if you wanted to be accepted or show that you were aligned with what was going on. Hey, look who's just walked into the room. I got to take some time for this. Yeah, it's Ellery. There's Ellery. She's walked into the room. There she is. But look who's home, folks. There she is in her Alaska hoodie. So, hey.
What's up, folks?
How you doing?
I'm doing. How you doing?
Right on. I'm good.
Daddy,
Yeah.
we're going to Walmart
We're going to Walmart.
You go to Walmart. I'm going to finish my show.
at almost 10 o'clock. We're going to Walmart.
Almost 10 o'clock. I wouldn't let them go late. They asked me a couple of nights while you were gone if they could go to Walmart. And I said, no, you don't take kids to Walmart at 10:30 at night.
No,
Yes,
you don't.
do,
What are
Dad.
these?
Well, they were
Party.
from the wedding I was at.
Yeah,
Place
don't be a
cards.
party.
Aw, so cute.
So, and there were 7 Hershey's bars here
yeah.
with their names on them. Where are my Hershey's
Ellie,
bars?
did you eat them all?
Yeah.
How many did you eat?
No, she says, she goes, no.
How many did you
And
eat?
smiles.
She's been eating
As
lot.
many as she could is how many she ate.
I know.
Darn
So-
kid.
Anyway, so I'm glad you came in.
Yeah. My mom just left, so
Oh, okay.
I thought I'd pop in. real
I'm
quick.
glad you did.
Yeah.
So you get these kids to Walmart, I guess.
I will.
Let's
I will.
go.
So everybody wanted to say hi.
Yeah,
Everybody's
hi,
saying
everybody.
hi. Welcome back, Rainey, says Sean.
When did I say hi?
Those two chat rooms you
You
see,
just shove that in
this
my
one's
mouth.
live and this one's the delayed one over here.
Celery.
So
Will you put that?
Hey, guys,
get out of here.
let
now.
Mama talk.
Now I'm irritated. Get out.
See, it's not just me.
5, 4, 3, 2,
We're leaving.
1.
Bye. Shut the door behind you.
I didn't even walk out yet.
Goodbye. Shut the door.
Milkshake, get your booty.
Milkshake, it's your booty.
Well, nice. All right. Well, cool. There you are.
Yeah,
Sarah Soderlin came on. She came on by accident at the very
Nice.
beginning.
that's awesome.
And she actually hit the link for calling in. So
Cool.
there you go.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I saw Dave Potter's out there. Dave.
yeah, I told you, Dave.
Hi,
She was
Dave.
asking for you.
Yep. I'm home with my 80 pounds of fish. When are you going to come over?
86 pounds of fish. Well,
no, 'cause
some
I
of it's
brought-
moose.
Yep.
And
I brought 6 pounds.
I told them all about
reindeer
that.
sausage, moose, and caribou.
Yeah, she came out to the car at the airport with a big two-wheeler, these big boxes loaded up. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I caught my limit every day for 6 days. 3 fish.
That's pretty cool.
I did not yell fish on because every time I yelled fish on, my fish got off.
Yeah. Fish on.
And I
Fish
instead I just yelled, Kate, I got one.
There you go. So, well,
It's a courtesy thing to yell fish on.
Elderberry says, Scotty missed you, Rainey. We heard all about that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I didn't miss her. Don't let her think that.
There's a puppy dog who missed me because her face is resting on my
Yeah.
foot right now.
She's down there and she's laying on the floor with her face on Rainey's foot.
Yep, passed
So,
out. A big fat puppy.
so stay out, please. You're being disruptive. You're going to go in a minute. Just hang on. Be chill.
My knees still hurt.
Go get some
Why
ice. and put some
don't you
ice
show
on.
Mom when she comes out?
Go get ice.
Okay. Hey, Delaney Pearl Jones. Good to see you. Welcome. So,
Hi.
yeah, Sean, you know all about kids.
So Dave, since you're here, since you're out there, Dave,
Dave Potter is here.
if there's a Monday or a Tuesday night you want to come over and cook some fish, I got some family that wants to come over for fish too. I'd really appreciate it if you cook for all of us.
Yeah, well, you can even have some.
Don't give away my
Oh.
fish. I worked hard for that.
No, I meant that he cooks.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah. You
fish he
can eat
cooks.
some that you cook.
So,
Maybe no. No, I'm just kidding. I'll share. But yeah, come over and cook for us.
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's line it up, brother.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, someone tried to sell me some shampoo. I told him, none of that. Give me the real poo. Oh,
Ew.
nice.
Haha.
But I'm ching. So, anyway,
Yeah.
I'm glad you came in to
Yeah.
say hey.
Yeah. Hey. What's up?
Glad to have you home.
I was in an earthquake and a tsunami warning. I don't know.
Yeah, she was
I
in
don't
an
know.
earthquake.
You have to stay tuned for Sunday. I'll tell stories on Sunday as long as I don't book up.
Well, you got a 9:30. I thought you had a 9:30 on Sunday.
I don't know.
Or is that Saturday?
I think that's Saturday.
Oh, maybe she will be here Sunday.
Maybe. Here, I can.
She might book up really quick.
I'm just gonna go stand over here and check.
She's going to go over to her computer and check her schedule. They just book her on the online schedule. So everybody's saying hi to Rainey. It's great to have you home.
Since I'm standing here and pulling this up, if I'm not booked for Sunday
Dave said he'll be happy to do that on Monday or Tuesday.
of this week or next week, what week?
Probably next week because Monday's already out.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta have a day so I can call the fam and be like,
Okay.
"Come on."
I would say make it for next Monday or Tuesday. He'll let us know.
You need to sniff my glue.
No, I don't need to sniff your glue. Here, I got some Tide Pods for you to
They're
puff.
scented though.
Okay, I'm so
Blueberry
glad.
muffin and watermelon and sugar cookie and apple pie.
It's almost like cotton candy. That must have been the cotton candy flavors. Rainey was making cotton candy. She got all kinds of exotic flavors that
There
she's
was
trying out.
sugar
We had rose and lavender.
Rose and lavender. She gave me lavender to try, and then caramel and green apple. and put those together. So it was caramel apple cotton candy. It was pure sugar. That's all I can tell you. So Sean Bowden lives on an island in the Puget Sound. I fish all the time. That's very cool. I love that part of the country. I went up and painted a mural 4 years ago in January up off the Puget Sound area.
It's the 8th, right?
So
Sunday will be the 8th.
Sunday will be the 8th.
Just changed my schedule.
Because Thursday's the 5th.
So I'll
You
be
working on Sunday?
I'll be on Sunday.
You'll be here on
I'll
Sunday?
be here on Sunday.
Rainey will be here for the whole show.
No, she
And I'll
won't.
share
On
my
Sunday.
stories, and you can watch me eat some of my fish.
That's it. She's going to eat some fish
Yeah.
on live, on
Live.
screen.
Live on screen, I'm going to eat some fish.
There it is. And so plan your Sunday accordingly.
Yeah.
9 a.m. Central
God.
Standard Time.
9 o'clock. I don't know if I'm going to be adjusted yet. Can we say noon?
Yeah, really. Yeah, she was 3 hours behind for the last almost month.
Right.
So,
It is 6:48 in Alaska. I was not going to bed until midnight, and I was waking up about 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning.
Great catches, Rainey. Well done, says Sean Stroik.
Yeah. Did you guys see my pictures? My fish pictures?
Wesley says, Rainey, your cheeks look rosy.
Yeah. So I got a lot of sun standing in the water.
Yeah.
And you can see that there, red and white, because you wear
Your
your
sunglasses.
hat, you wear your sunglasses. Yeah.
So, Rainey, I'll contact you and we'll get it all squared away, says Dave Potter.
Sounds good. I'm excited.
Looking forward to it,
excited.
Dave.
Super excited.
Mom, who's
I got
printing
I got pink salmon. I don't know who's printing. I only got one pink salmon, and the rest is all sockeye.
Sockeye salmon.
Sockeye
Okay.
salmon.
Yeah. The pink is not the best stuff, right?
In
You're saying that's
Alaska, pink salmon is dog food. That's what they feed the dogs. So I've been told.
Sean Stroik says, I was by Fort Ticonderoga last week, and I believe you talked about it. Yes, I did. We went there with the regiment a few times. Don't, you got a dress on. I would not do that.
Down.
Thank you.
Okay, we're not going because I told you guys not to come back in here, and you're in here. So I
There you
guess we're
go.
not
I
going.
want to go before we go to sleep.
Well,
Then
get out of
get
here.
Then come on.
Mom will be out in a minute.
Or in like 5 hours. That's
So
what
Morgan Snow says, good to see you, Rainey.
Good to see you too.
Saki is best, says
Yeah.
Sean Stroik.
Not Saki, Sockeye.
Sockeye.
Saki's good too.
Saki's good too. Yeah. All right.
Oh my goodness. Anyways.
And Susie Q said, welcome back, Rainey.
Yeah,
This is
thanks.
the third time she said it.
Sean said Alaska messed with the sleeping pattern. It was
Yeah.
dark. It started getting dark around midnight, and the sun would start coming up around 4.
There it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Or I suppose in the middle of winter, you got the 30 days of night.
No, there's light there too.
What was that vampire movie? 30 Days of
They
Dark?
were like way the hell up there in Alaska.
Oh, they were way up. Well, that wasn't Alaska. It's probably the North Pole.
I don't know.
Polar Arctic.
Well, you got to think. You got like Alaska's right here, and Anchorage is
Alaska's
like
here.
right here, and there's all this
That
up
goes off
here in
like this.
Alaska. So you never know. Makes a big difference.
There.
Makes a big difference.
So, it does.
Yeah.
So, did you throw any fish at Russia? Says Field Guy.
No.
No, they kept it all. Brought it
Not
home.
at all. I wasn't wasting my fish.
Dave Potter, girls, Uncle Dave does not approve.
Nice. Yeah, no.
You know, the thing about our kids, we can say stuff, and we're parents. We know how to dictate to our kids. We know how to uphold the law with our kids. Our kids violate it, and you can't always just jump and go, okay, that's it. I'm taking care of business with you right now. So, like right now, if Rainey went and did that, you should have to leave being here right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how bright were the stars? Asks Sean.
It wasn't bright enough to really see stars.
Really? Too much
Or
light?
It
out there?
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know.
Oh, because it never really got super dark.
Never got really super dark.
There it is.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know that I even saw stars because midnight, you're starting to get tired and you went to bed.
Sure.
And then by the time the sun started rolling up, you're damn tired. I don't know. I didn't see stars. No stars.
No stars.
And when I went to Alaska the time before and was there in the winter,
Alice, I'll make you see stars.
I think it was too foggy. I was there during the humidity. I don't know. It was just clouds all the time. No stars either. I didn't even get to see the Northern Lights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you know?
Yeah. Don't you know? That's a very North Dakota thing. Western Minnesota thing. So.
Oh my God. And everybody says Wisconsin. It's not Wisconsin. It's Wisconsin.
Scotty.
I corrected everybody. Everybody.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Nice.
You live in Wisconsin? No, I live in Wisconsin.
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 Yeah. So.
Jeebus people.
Yeah, really. So, I'll ask you more about Alaska stories on Sunday.
Yeah. I'm going to Walmart.
So you go to Walmart. Get me something special.
No.
Oh, she got me this. She got me this wristband.
Man by guy
Leather.
who lives in Alaska.
Big bad guy in Alaska who talks like this, probably.
Nah, he's pretty cool.
Great Spirit told me to make you a bracelet out of leather.
No, you saw that picture though. The one guy though.
You didn't show me the picture of the guy. You just showed me his art.
No, not that guy. That's not the same guy. It was a different guy
that
did that art. That was cool art.
I don't know which guy you mean then.
The circle thing with the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that
that's
one.
That's not the same guy.
Okay. I never saw him. I just saw his circle art.
He was cool. He had good stories.
Great stories.
Yeah.
So.
I'm out of here. Good night.
You can rub against me all you want.
We'll see you Sunday morning, but not too early because I'm not waking up until my body wakes me up. I'll be there at 10.
I'm not waking up till your body wakes me up either.
I'll be on at 10 a.m. our time.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
That's so loud.
I'm happy you're home.
Ear.
Oh, here, I won't do it near you this time.
Ew, gross.
Ew, gross. Get a chat room.
Oh, look at she misses me. She misses her mom.
Yep, she's gonna hump you now. All right. Well, there was our familial interlude, our rainy interlude. Welcome back home. Welcome back.
Look at this baby. This baby missed me.
There's the fat puppy. The tubbalub
her
pug.
little tail's just wiggling.
What are you doing?
She's like, yep, I got my mom.
What are you doing? Huh? All right. Yep, she wants her mom. She moped for 3 weeks, that dog.
I'll put you down.
That's Lucy Fur.
And she's humping my leg.
All right. Well, you have fun with that.
They will.
Give me a surprise.
They will.
Okay, bye.
I'm going to bring you a tampon.
Oh, that's all I need.
For your man.
Yeah, for my manhood. For my angina. All right, guys. Now, we're up to 5 minutes before the end of the show, but I think we can go on a little bit. Or should we? Should we just do... Where were we? Where did we leave off? We just started talking about sacraments and rituals and rites and magics. Talking about the Eucharist. And I think when Rainey walked in, I was saying all of this stuff was stuff you had to study in the early church before you could participate in it. You couldn't get baptized unless you studied. And how many babies studied? And see, so that was my point about the things that we add on to Christianity. Well, today only the Catholic and the Orthodox churches typically maintain a requirement, like catechism, confirmation, things like that. But certain churches require a level of understanding and a profession of faith before sacraments can be given. And so what a sacrament is and what exactly it does differs from church to church. And in the high or the ritual-centered churches with the high liturgy, like the Catholic Church and so on, sacraments are usually seen as sacred rites. And they're validly performed. Only by certain persons can do them, the priests, which uniquely convey God's power to the individual. And so in these traditions, the ritual of the sacrament takes on a rather magic nature. And by magic, I'm using the MAGICK version of the word. And the theology of these practices becomes incredibly detailed and convoluted when you really start digging into the theology. And for the low or the preaching-based traditions, low, I don't mean that in a negative way, not the high mass, the high liturgy, but the low, the praise Jesus, we're going to wear t-shirts and shorts, the pastor wears to church when he speaks and so on. The preaching-based traditions. These rites are sometimes seen as sacred or magical events, and sometimes simply as observances. They're where we are observing communion, we are observing baptism. And so they're not a rite and they're not a ritual as much. And as a matter of fact, in the conservative fundamentalist Baptist church, we shunned things that we considered to be sacramental rites. We didn't even use those words other than to say we shun them. We don't use those. It's an observance of something, an observance of communion. It was a remembrance of the death and the shed blood of Jesus, what they said, the broken body, the shed blood. And sometimes they're observances and things the faithful do because God told them to do them, but they're without any specific power of their own. And I'm going to kind of close out the study for tonight on this point here, using the word magic I'm putting a CK on it, so it looks different than, and I'm not talking magic like, and now out of my hat will emerge 2 white doves, abracadabra. Not that kind of magic. Magic, MAGICK, magic. It's really touchy because there's no Christian theology that would use that word whatsoever. But from a pagan perspective, what happens in these rituals is magic. That is the specific correspondences between words, actions, and symbols, which when you combine all these with the intention of the people involved leads to extraordinary results. And this is important to note for Christo-Pagans, since the nature and the purpose of magic is often a sticking point between religion. And then we're going to get into the Christian understanding, but we're going to push that off a little bit. I got a little story I want to tell you. There was a very moving, we called it an observance, but I look back on it and I say it was a ritual. And to me now, even talking about it, it's very moving. No matter what you believe, this was a moving ritual that we went through. And I think it was very magical within the church. This was it had to be about 25 years ago when I was in this church with Parson Larson, the Evangelical Free Church. And on Easter, the church always put on a big production, a musical production, or we actually built sets. We took the main entryway, the narthex, if you will, of the church, and we put up sets, flats, and I painted them to look like old buildings, like the old temple in Jerusalem. And we put on little mini plays. There was a balcony up above that we redressed to look like a ancient Roman balcony. We had a guy playing Pilate and a guy and Jesus and all these characters. And then there was a room you could go. It was supposed to be the Garden of Eden room in the church, and they had decked out the whole room again with flats and paintings, and they had blue light and darkened it, and they had Jesus. You could go in to pray for Easter coming up, and they had the guy playing Jesus was there in the room, way off over there, and he was praying in the dark. You couldn't hear him. There was no communication back and forth. There was no stage show going on. He was just there. He was just sitting on the ground praying. And they had the trees, and they had prop olive trees and things like that, and the blue light and all of that of nighttime. And they had music playing very soft. And so it set a mood. And then when you went to the sanctuary of the church, or as the non-liturgical church would say, the auditorium of the church, they had taken a big cross, a wooden cross made out of like 4x4s. And they made a cross. It was about 12 feet long. And there were steps going up to the altar in the sanctuary there. And they took this cross and they laid it down on the steps. And when you came in the door of the sanctuary that night, there was everybody saying abundant favor to y'all. We're not leaving yet. We're not done yet, Susie Q or anybody else. I want to finish this story. I think this is an important illustration of ritual magic. As you walked into the sanctuary, at the door, they had a table. And on this table, they had a couple of baskets. And in one basket, it was filled with nails. Think of the antique nails, the squared off nails. And then they had a little pencil, and they had a basket of little papers, little 3-inch by 3-inch papers, like memo pads. And there was a little sign that said, take one of each, as you were walking into the sanctuary. So everybody was to take a nail, everybody was to take a pencil, everybody was to take a piece of paper. And then you went in and you sat down, and there was music playing, of course, waiting for the pastor to come on, to come out and address everybody, and as everybody was finding seats. And he says, now, he said, in case you're wondering, I suppose you're all wondering what the nail and the pencil and the paper is for. He says, here's something I would like you to do. He says, in observance of what we believe about Jesus' shed blood being the atonement for sin. Okay? In light of all that, he says, I want you to take that pencil and that little piece of paper. He says, don't put your name on it. Totally anonymous. He said, I want you to write down all the sins in your life that you think are too big for God to forgive. And he said, I want you to take that. I want you to do that. Write down the sins that you think can't be forgiven. He says, then I want you to take this nail. He says, take this paper and fold it. He says, and then we're going to have everybody come up while we're singing songs. And he said, we'll have the ushers come and, dismiss each aisle to come to the front, to the altar where we have this cross. And up there they had 2 big hammers. And he said, I want you to take these sins that you believe are too great for God, or that you can't forgive yourself for. So I want you to take the hammer and the nail, and I want you to hammer that into the cross. And so we had the whole congregation did this. This was a Good Friday service, by the way, so it was Friday evening. And so everybody came up and did that, and he said, this is a word picture. He says that I want you to understand. He says there's nothing too great for God. And according to the teaching of the church, it was Jesus Christ who paid the price to forgive that sin that you think is too great. And so when that was done, it was a great word picture. It was a great experience for people there. No names on the paper. Yeah. And so you nailed that into the cross. And when I think of the symbolism of that, the symbolism is so powerful. Doesn't matter if you believe it from the outside listening to this story or not. It's powerful symbolism. And do you know what happened there that night? I think powerful ritual magic. You were taking a thing, an object, a symbol of something, combining it with another symbol of something. And you were committing an act. You were creating, if you will, and I'm not trying to make it trite at all, you were creating a spell. Because there are spells, I know, in paganism, in Wiccanism, where you take the things that are the things that you need to do away with, and you write them on paper, and you fold them up and you burn them, and then you bury the ashes. You know, there are things like that that we do. And this was such a powerful night, and such a powerful piece of symbolism to say, I have taken the things I think God can't handle, or that I'm afraid that I won't bring to God. I've written them down and I've nailed them to the cross and I've left them there. That, ladies and gentlemen, is ritual magic, no matter what you believe about it. Right, Steph. What's a spell? It's intention. It's just like prayer. Exactly. So this was really powerful stuff. This is what I'm talking about with, and we're going to hit it more tomorrow night and dig into it a little deeper. But this is, I told that story and I wasn't planning to talk about that. It just popped into my head. And there's a little addition to this story, an addendum to it of a personal nature. This was taking place during the time when my now ex-wife, we were going through a divorce where she had disappeared with my children and was leveling all kinds of accusations to the court to try to win custody of my children. And nobody had seen her for 4 months, or my twin daughters, Abby and Bryn, who are now 29 years old. This took place when they were 3. So this was 26 years ago. And so nobody had seen her. I hadn't seen her for 4 months. I hadn't seen my children for 4 months. Excuse me. And we were big in the church there, meaning we were there all the time. Everybody knew us. We knew everybody. Our social circles were at church. And so here I am. And I am sitting, I had gone up and nailed my piece of paper into the cross. And I sat down. And I went down toward the back, if I remember correctly. And as I'm going, John Larson, the pastor, everybody's still moving up the aisle to go to the cross. And he took me and he whispered in my ear as I was walking back. He said, Annette's here. And so I went and I sat down, and up in line was my ex-wife to be, and who had been in hiding with my kids, and I hadn't seen her. There she was in line. So to go nail up her piece of paper to the cross. And so I left. I didn't want to stick around. I thought, if she's going to reconnect with people here, I'm going to get out of here. My pastor, the staff here knows this. They know how to take care of things. And sure enough, she went and met with him. Then she wanted to meet with me. We actually reconciled for about 2 years after that, before the divorce was final again, because it just all fell apart, shambles after that. So it was a few years after that. So that's the power of ritual, the power of magic. I believe magic was performed that night in many people's lives. Doesn't matter if you agree with the religion or the theology. What matters is that people put their faith in something and they use the symbols and the elements to create the magic to accomplish something. We're going to talk more about that tomorrow night. All right, guys. So I appreciate the fact that you're here, that you gave me your time. We've run about 12 minutes over. But we'll be back tomorrow night. We're going to talk about this whole thing of ritual magic in the church and how it and in paganism and how those things actually already exist between the two, so they're not a stretch. All right, guys. So, having said all of that, I want to tell you, live long and prosper, and see you tomorrow night.
You're listening to the Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent Talk.